just always want to get you in.
What? I'm rocking. Who says we ain't in the building? Who says we ain't into building? We the Moorish master masons, architects for your children, repping Friday 13th like Jason without the killing. But we promote life, oh, it's all about the feeling. And we invoke light, yo, we them light beings. Though you might see him on the block getting his portion, might be talking to cops, giving them caution. Occasionally wearing his fez when he's walking, see the turning heads, whispering gawking. But he's locked in and he's zoned out while we boxed in our own house.
We study the mystics, the adepts, the magi, wisdom of the ancients can all calcify eyes. Possible mission, free mental numbness, extract the substance, rid minds of dumbness. Use the source, don't care what some purport, as we know by being told man knows not. Many before the floor, souls got bought, placed in the devil's hands, ruling the seven lands. To dogma rituals, Negro spirituals, brainwash subliminal, keeps thinking to a minimal. They're still criminal, in a world digital so pitiful. Mental survival so critical, it's visible. Can you see past righteous blocks? Hashtag zombies with waves of cyber thoughts. No need for cell phones, they speak through saw palms. It's nothing for alarm, chips and forearms.
Wind, brass, and bass, such a beautiful serenade. Women feeding me grapes, I'm feeding the Henry's serenades. Whether the sky is clear or gray, rain when you hear a fake, giving life to seed. Speaking through who not here today. Show you the future in a glimpse. You can always look to these holes like hallucinatory pimps. Sun walked the desert, been more of a since I found God. Look back, used to see his prince. Forget being a prince, I'm a G. OD, grown man, no jokey. Deny it, you don't know me. Don't make me tap into the old me. That's like a couple hundred years. Walk around town with a couple hundred peers and release the peace of fears. The sun gon' shine, so what tears? This young brother here just trying to get his third eye clear.
This deep. Moors don't sleep, invest in your mind and body and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks, conscious thinking and living and then attack. This deep. Moors don't sleep, invest in your mind and body and unleash.
Yeah.
Real life rap,
Yeah.
spitting over tracks,
Yeah.
conscious thinking and living and then attack.
So as the moon sets, the sun takes its place and spoons on blocks, inspired spots, filled spaces, peel back, rats, who got cases, fire stain the corridors of flammable faces, game changers, rule benders and no pretenders, style benders, channel my vibe through the vibrant optic lenses, send a message to our veterans, soldiers up and get it in, we on our birds, we are merged subliminal beings, third eye seeing, still I participate unwilling.
They wanna break me, shake, bake, grade me, rolling with my main G, double OMG, SON is crazy for a minute that you think you could take me for a fool like a native to his land, being schooled by a foreign dude. You've mistaken me, spiders on the roof, in the dark tools, I've been saying you've mistaken me. You better move or I mark it, power pin is my tongue, your existence to target, revealing all lies and deceit on the market. Genocide, carry round in pockets, I knock it down, bulldozer. David to Goliath, it's an exposure. Out some big cats ruling and it's getting closer to your downfall, round up all your soldiers.
Little homie, I was seeking a fortune, tired of misfortune. I just wanted a portion, everything that I never had, though I needed my portion. Blowing like porcelain, haters pendulous porcelain. Getting broke, tired of being broke. How we acquire hope is the DJ skillets and dope, just to keep us afloat. Mind as deep as the boat, brain is the lethal weapon. We want need to elope. When I speak, I provoke. Walk in the room with my aura feeling like heavy smoke. Feel like when the levee broke under my Louis Vuitton, the semi-poke. Cause dirty cops will kill your boy, you ain't a joke. The cost of living, higher profits in private prison. These little girls are selling bodies just to pay tuition. These little niggas selling niggas just for bail condition. It's like the slavery never ended, where's the intermission? I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and me one plan. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and one plan.
You have to unarm the next one too. Did you unarm the other one? Good.
Stand off, take 10 paces when doing handoffs in the open, no bare faces, mere traces, rare places that know we're about a status. I mean status.
What's your stasis? We out the stratus. Mr. Universe, code name Tony Atlas. I was gifted with this. Why you talking about practice? Really? You talking about practice? You a thespian, acting like an actress. You a lesbian, type back on the mattress. Christian, Protestant, Anglican, Baptist, Pentecostal, Lutheran, all Catholic. Ancients have returned, truth is in. Stop the slackers, they do anything and everything to get you off your axis. A time to move forward, a time to wait, a time to love, a time to hate. A time to hug, a time to refrain from embrace. A time to smile, time for seriousness on the face. A time to be on point, a time to make mistakes. A time to be small, a time to be great. This race ain't for the swift, but who could endure with this paradigm shift? I'm glad to be a more strong, devour, weak, rich, prey on the poor. If you find this cause you're seeking DNA, it's all stored. This race ain't for the swift, but who could endure with this paradigm shift? I'm glad to be a more strong, devour, weak, rich, prey on the poor. If you find this cause you're seeking DNA, it's all stored. Time to preserve life, a time to kill, a time to act hype, a time to chill, a time to do what's right, Allah's will, a time to make lower self take you on some thrills, a time to reach heights, a time for depths, times when you speak, times quiet is kept, a time to stay awake, actually we never slept, time to get resuscitated, time for losing your breath. A time to pass, a time to resurrect. Sun sets, then it rises. I know it sounds complex, still no surprises. Try grasp the concepts. Open your eyelids, change your literature to change your mind. That's what I did. You on the fence, undecided? Take time, don't worry, she provided. It's delicate when ideologies colliding. This race ain't for the swift, but who could endure with this paradigm shift? I'm glad to be a more strong, devour, weak, rich, prey on the poor. If you find it's cause you're seeking DNA, it's all stored.
What's the song called?
Song called About Time.
About time. I'm not music video.
Oh yeah, we're just doing it right now.
Did I say no?
You guys subscribe a lot more. You guys like that song? We'll see it soon.
Northgate, H2O flow, Sheik, Canaanland, Moorish, Release Fall, Shalon Davis, salute, hot house, check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate, referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a feet on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more, that is easy to digest. Competent, never terrenilious. That is my land, never faking. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. If you please more, following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
This say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. Won't push the link when we live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali, but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I'm saying, I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I'm going at dirty rappers, lynching Dirty Moors too. Hiding literature that Drew wrote to warn you. They claim to make you Muslim and make you sovereign. With paperwork and filings, with fiat they rob it. They don't care about his words, throw it out like garbage. Or throw it at you when you're active, not passive. When they want to talk about like off a trampoline mattress, treat them like a vamp or a teen actress. Get stamped with the brand like a mean savage. This Inquisition divine, all others average. Millennium Renaissance, heroes in our classes. Fed up with the czar controlling facets. Ask if they heard about Moors, they say no. But Masons, they obviously know. Down the handshakes and rituals with skull and bones. They even know about owls burning Bohemian Grove. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. Dirty Moors killed Drew. I read the FBI papers on loyal Moors, emergency fund rapers, Moorish literature and divine bylaw changes. Might as well say Drew Ali was born in a manger. Prophet puts poison aside and his food smelled danger. Got me treating every Moor like a stranger. Grand Chief Punkin stumbling drunk in the feds. What was proclaimed for every meeting was not read. Some Moors are so active, Prophet can't be dead. Thanks Moorish teachers away, I can't be led. Actions speak, then I consider what's said. And what's said was study, then study yourself. Honest to the Prophet over Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. Everybody wants to be just like Drew Ali, but nobody wants to care about Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors are men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized dirty Moors, tongues cut out left earless. Cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnap a dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come and teach, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors are men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized dirty Moors, tongues cut out left earless. Cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnap a dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moor's lips off. Disrespecting the mother Raz Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire away. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin bait, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorance, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same landmass. Canaanland is actually bigger than the landmass they know as the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they could just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to Greenland. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear hoarse voices, see frog faces, and who's for feet. Demons we run with, spit fire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing, forget back seats, new Moors are an issue. Get Ginsu, maybe a dream visit from Vishnu, a nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo, dealing with my trust issues through vigilance. Active Moors are militants, SPLC dirty Moors call that sovereign citizen. Lying for views, they notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen bays sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts for teaching birthright street level, keeping it beat nuts.
To any members of the MFTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MFTA. I got issues with
Keep it Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirt is guilty of fraud if Drew Ali scrutinized their ledgers. Getting proclamations for Rocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Hand in their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors knowledge the Commonwealth. Dirties claim more, but really on the straw man health. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little more two status syndicates. In more face, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island. Our lions so intricate.
long days and long nights. But this message needed to be heard.
Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all the Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. It has to be a repetitive theme that you realize that if you get into this Moorish paradigm, playing around, I'm going to say that you're Moors and all that. But this is what you have to deal with. You have to deal with your own selling you out. That has to be a reality that has to sink in. We're happy Pale History Month. So today is the good. You can't blame the white man. You can't blame the European. You can't play victim. Blame the sellouts. Stop playing games that some invisible whatever is stopping you from doing what you're supposed to be doing as a nation. It's your own that's making you stay Negro, black, colored, Indian, and whatever else. That's a fiction. It's a repetitive theme. It's been a theme ever since maybe 5 years in. When Moors, who I personally gave them bed to sleep in, gave them connection on this guy over here who could give them a job, 50 G's a year. Had to move 500 boxes of whatever like that when no one else showed up. Guess who showed up? Cujo showed up. And then they turn around and go back to being Negro black color. They have to be a sellout because there's no way you're making it to you're a Moor and that's your nationality, and then you're turning around and going and doing something else. There's no way. Because no one is that dumb, because everybody else in the world has a nationality. The only people on the entire planet that don't have a nationality are people who are classified as stateless by the UN or whatever, and all the people in North America and the islands playing around like they're not Moroccan. They want to be Negro, black, colored, and all the other BS. There's a lot more. I know, I know you're getting it in over there, so if you need to yield, it's all good. We could, you know.
Yeah, but I just wanted to add on real quick. Dang, it was something you had said earlier in the beginning. Something about Morris coming in. Oh, about it being your own. And it made me think about how people always ask, well, where's the Morris this at? And then where's the Morris that at? And then I just had like a flashback of all the people who sold out the prophet back then, right in front of his face, who lost everything, who turned signs into other signs, changed the names of buildings or whatnot, and right then and there, and then that same thing is going on today. Like, so when Moore is always asked today, well, where's this at and where's that at? The Grand Sheik is pointing out the sellouts today. These are your problems. Your problem right here is the sellouts that we seeing today. That you're U.S. citizens or whatnot. They want to promote all of that. That's causing the confusion. That's causing people not to want to proclaim their nationality and stuff. Making more. That's why we don't have nothing, because of the same sellout Moors that was back then. It's the same set that got rid of everything. Is the same ones today. That making sure that we're not going to get none of that stuff back. So when they ask, well, where's the Moors this at and where's the Moors that at? The sellouts are still around, and that's the main issue.
Yep.
I just had to add that in because when you said it earlier, I was like, wow, man, that's the same thing that happened back in the day is happening now.
Exactly. So if this thing is such a revolving door that since the prophets before Noble Drew Ali, it was your own selling you out, then what's Earth Plane really about, really? Because clearly we'll never make it. Clearly, we'll never make it. Because there's always going to be a group of our people who they're content being stateless. They're good with being stateless. And they're the ones that are selling you out. Because they have to have given up their birthright to go this deep into the sellout. To go as deep into the sellout as the sellout and understand what the sellout does to you as a nation. Right? What the sellout does to you as a nation. Right? This is what the sellout does to you as a nation. Right? It keeps you absolutely locked out. And you're looking at the people who are more prosperous than you as the sellout, as the enemy, as the problem, when the nigger standing right next to you is the problem. Isn't that how it goes all the time? This guy's right-hand man who tells him out, whether you turn informant to the highwaymen or whether you just sets up something, try to kill him so you could get the whatever. Right? We know that there's a sellout. We've been telling you. We're gonna keep telling you. Just like how there's always gonna be a sellout, there's always gonna be us Moors telling you about the sellout. People who change the sign so you don't know about who you are right now. People who had a building called Moorish and then they changed the sign and put up their own sign and start pushing their own stuff. This is from 1930 to today. You want to know how come you're struggling and all that? Don't realize your own selling you out. All these people sitting down in their chambers, not doing anything for their nation. Look at every other nationality that sits at a seat of some type of power or whatever. What are they doing with it? For their selfish self? No, they're doing it for their nation. They're doing it so their nation could be counted in any seat, anywhere. Any seat. Name the seat. Guarantee there's a nation who has direct contact with that seat. More people want to have a sellout as their contact. A traitor is their contact. Right? We are not assuming. We are letting you know. Moors killed Noble Drew Ali. Nation of Islam killed El Hajj. Black Panther, whoever, and NOI killed Khalid. Boule, whoever, killed Steve Coakley. You think they don't know what they're doing? FBI, whoever, killed Hampton. You name it. Go down the line. Name them. And how'd they get so close if they're the enemy? The sellout. Black Messiah. And what? Which guy? Judas, right?
Mm.
Judas, that's not modern, right? That's not something from today. What are they telling you? Oh, the guy right next to you is going to be the sellout. You still not hearing what's going on? Oh, yeah, but that's right. That's just how it is because there has to be balance and all that stuff. So there's going to be dumb niggers and there's going to be Moors. And that's just what it is. And all the Moors are going to recognize their birthright and get what they're supposed to get out of their vast estate as Moors. And then everybody else is going to be sitting back complaining about how come they don't have something. Well, this Moor over here said that we can, and this Moor said that, and that Moor said that. What do you say? You don't care about what these other people say. What do you say? I know what I say. I know I talked to Brother Yusuf. Brother Yusuf, he knows what he says. He's not talking what he doesn't know anymore. They're going to talk what they know. And if I don't know, give me 2 days. I'll be back and I'll know. Islam more. You're about to play this thing.
Islam. No, I was just thinking about the 2 days and we'll know. That's it. Because we're gonna study and try to dissect everything. Everything.
Everything.
Reminds me of the because I see on the IG, I would talk to you about it, about the articles that keep getting written, are being written out there in your jurisdiction, calling the so-called truck drivers convoys. And I'm like, why do they keep saying the word convoy? And then we, as Moors, automatically we grab Black's Law Dictionary, look up the definition of convoy, and it means something. So we're talking about a military naval group that has to do with, what was it, shipping and something. And it's the same thing so-called truck drivers would do, but it's a naval thing. And I'm like, yo, this is all crazy. It doesn't mean what we thought it would mean. Like, oh, just a group of people. Nah, they know exactly what they're saying. So that's why I love what the Grand Sheik said, just give us 2 days, because we're going to get it to the point where they're just frustrated that we broke it down to that much. Now they're just mad that we just knew everything about it, plus more.
Yep. Mad. Big mad. Big mad. Right? They get so mad. They get so mad that it's borderline insanity because of their actions of how mad they are. Right? Now remember, if I wasn't a Moor, I wouldn't have anything to say to these people. But we ride with Moors, and there's certain Moors who, I don't give who you think you are or whatever. There's certain Moors that you can't talk crazy. Like there's certain Moors you can't talk crazy. As soon as you start talking crazy, we have to address things, because you're not going to talk crazy about certain Moors. The Moors in question, Razmara V. Bey and Taj Tarik Bey. We told you already, that's Moor Vengers. Don't talk crazy. Because you're not talking crazy about people who are doing madness. How are you talking crazy about people who are doing something and uplifting people and making them think so they could save themselves? No one is going to be free to talk BS about them. No one. And that's just because we're not the online generation. We're the press palms and hug generation. We deal with reality, not fiction, not virtual. We do it reality. And in the reality, not the matrix, right? In the reality, the work that was done in order for Moors to know who they are by these two Moors it can't even be fathomed, because you can't even put words to the amount of work that went in on behalf of Moors by these two Moors. Just these two Moors. We're not talking about all the rest right now who are supposed to get their props too. Right?
And lives that they saved. And I'm not talking about going in no Roman venue. I'm just saying, by correcting our character, showing us our principles, bringing, like Mother Roz with the astrology foundation, bringing us all the way back to cosmology, to the Moorish science, saving our life. I'm not talking about Roman venue, court, license stuff. I'm talking about standing on your square, being an upright individual. That's what I mean when I say save your life. That's why I give honors to those more Avengers all the time. Islam Green Sheet.
Islam.
Humbly, I'm asking. I used to, and you can go check the videos, I used to push and promote and champion Tarik Bay and RV Bay publications all the time. And I'm talking 2013, 2004. Humbly, I'm asking.
No, we're telling you. We're telling you. We're not assuming. Right? When someone's under pressure, they crack.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One of the tell-all signs of someone under pressure is when they say something and they gulp after.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're not talking about a natural occurrence. We're talking about something's going on here. There's something going on behind the scenes for somebody to say this. Right? Because we also know, like Brother Yusuf was saying earlier when we were talking about the clickbait. And this thing coming back up again about using certain people's name in their title just so they can get their to how much ever views, so they can get their check from whoever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? So they can be qualified to buy subscribers and buy views and all this. Right? Listen to what we're telling you and see exactly what it is that we're telling you in all these people's actions. Every one of these traders does it. Right before they say their stuff that they're about to drop, when they're about to let you know that they're a sellout, they gulp. All of them do it. Because they know what they're doing is wrong. They know what they're doing is wrong. But they know that the public is dumb. And instead of schooling them and put them on game, they're going to take the time to talk crazy about master teachers who put so much people on game. These people shouldn't even be talking. They have nothing to show. Not just him, all of them. They have absolutely nothing to show. But you're going to go give them 10 grand. But you're not going to go give Taj 10 grand? All the free stuff he did? You're gonna take 20 grand and just hit him off? And don't talk BS, because we know none of you never did it like that. There's few that did it like that. Few. There's few that showed honors to the master teacher. Most people are vampiring him and sucking his energy. And only because he's who he is, why he's still alive or whatever. If that was some Negro guy and they were sucking him like that, they'd be like king or whatever. Not here. We know they're vampiring him. We know this. But that's the more. That's the more. When these Moors were talking about, You gotta go to the temple and you gotta wear a tie and all this stuff like that and whatever. He's doing the classic cut off t-shirt.
Right.
With half the head braided and half the head. Right? Doing it. In the cutoff shirt. Talk about your birthright. Talk about driver's license fraud. Talk about you name the topic. Talked about it. And just like him, just like he's saying, all of these traders and sellouts were riding with Tarik Bey 15 years ago. Riding with his information.
Did lectures with him and everything.
Say that again, more.
Did lectures with him and everything.
And then you're going to turn around and say that these people are sellouts? These people are traders? That they taught wrong for all these years? And like we said, remember. Yeah, go ahead, more.
Because it's just crazy. Because I'm pretty sure because he did a lecture with Green Sheet Taj, and I'm pretty sure he still has Taj's number. Because in order for him to have set that up, you know what I mean? You have to have Taj's number.
Yeah, did he delete the number? Ask him that.
And if you still have the number, have you called Taj and tell him personally everything you've been saying on the internet, or you just say it on the internet? Because I know you got his number. Or if you deleted it, that's different. But if you still got the number, why don't you just call him and say everything you've been saying? Why you got to let everybody else know? Call Taj. That's just mind-boggling to me. That whole thing, like the man was just in your face, and then now he's not in your face, and you go on there and now you're making videos about it. Like people should question that. Like that's not, like regularly, you know how we have friends. Like that's not what friends are supposed to do. Your brother is not supposed to go behind your back after and make videos and say, well, I don't like when he did this. I don't like when he did it. That's your brother, right? Call him. Why do all of that? You got RB Publications email address because you got free national identification from them. Did he return the free national identification? All the literature, did he return all of that stuff back? Like, that's what I'll be saying. I'm like, you're gonna make all these, complaints or videos about them, but then you have their contact information. You can contact them yourself. Why make the videos? That's the part. That's when like we said earlier, Grand Sheik, it's the clickbait. It's for the views. Because if you personally had a problem, you have these people's contact information. You can get in contact with them. Like you were saying earlier again, we're of the grip palm. Back to those type of people, not the internet. Everything's internet. We grip palm, see each other, call each other. Everything is, I'm just gonna go press record. He could have called Todd. He could have emailed, did all that. However he did to get the contact information to do the lecture, he could have went that hard to get back in contact with Taj or Mother Roz. He could do the same thing. But he didn't. He went the I need views, I need clickbait way. That's when like years ago when you used to say Green Sheik red flag. I mean, we already know he's just buried in red flags, but again, you just beating the pinata over and over again. Because that's just regular. He could have called. Why he didn't? How many videos he has made about Taj and RV Bay publications.
And this is the pattern too that you'll see. You'll see them use these individuals, use their names as far as the clickbait, right? But always remember that they used to be studying from them. Isn't that the same thing like NOI and all them? Isn't that the same thing as the Hebrew Israelites, who they're supposed to be saying that they're Moorish Zionist Jews? Why are they saying they're Hebrew Israelites if they're Moorish Zionist Jews in the 1920s, 1800s? There was no Hebrew Israelites in 1800s in America. There's no Hebrew Israelites.
Okay. Let me ask you this then, too, Grand Sheik. When those so-called Hebrew Israelites went to Palestine over there, or Israel, so-called, what year was that? When they did that whole migration thing over there?
I was like 60s or something.
Oh, that was after too then.
Yeah, because remember they had to have Israel had to be there first for them to do that.
Hold on, but let me ask you this. Yeah, now
they didn't go to Palestine,
right?
They didn't say we're going to homeland Palestine. They said we're going to homeland Israel.
And then what came first? The so-called state of Israel or the Moorish Zionist temple?
Shit, right?
Israel came in 46 or 48. The Moorish Zionist Jewish temple was in the 20s. Mm-hmm. It's still older than the so-called state of Israel.
And that's new. And they're not repping that. They're gonna make up some new thing. They're gonna make up some new thing to say that that's what it is now. And keep in mind, all we're doing is sticking our head out the veil. Like the Moor said yesterday, he has the garden to go do and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like, we don't got time for this BS because we already know what's up. We're just sticking the head out the veil. Hey, make sure you study, make sure you whatever, and then we're out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Shut down internet tomorrow. This is going to be the last one you get. You better have been taking the instructions properly. You better have been getting your library and stuff like that and stocking up something or whatever. Okay? Some new stuff. It ain't new. Been telling you. And the only reason you don't get it is because of your own selling you out. It's a theme of our existence on the planet that your brother is going to sell you out. Your uncle is going to be the one that touched you and all that stuff. Wasn't some European over there? Islam more.
Islam. How far is he in?
555. Look at that. 555.
And oh yeah, I had to before you play it. I love his little bailout that he's trying right now. That I know I used to be chanting with Taj and all of that, but because there's going to be a but. We already know there's going to be a but. But that's because he knows Moors are going to come into the chat and rip them and make videos showing them like, yo, what do you mean? You used to be with Taj. How could you blah, 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 blah. So he's doing his little disclaimer right now. Like, yeah, I was with Taj. That's just so Morris can't say that, which is the truth. But it's like you know how for example, you know, when the battle rap come on and that 8 Mile and Eminem basically dissed himself, so now you ain't got nothing to say. That's what he's doing that right now. He's but no, you're still wrong. That is, I don't care nothing about. Oh, I said that. You know, that was back then. No, well, you were. How many times you gonna flip flop? You were Negro, black, and colored. You were more with Taj. Now, like now you're back, not Taj. Now it's like, you know, you're NOI type of like teaching. Well, like it's just flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, and then now you want to do disclaimers. But shouldn't we question, like, why aren't you steady? You need to be. Why do you keep flip flopping? That's a questionable. You know what I mean? The flip flop. You should be secure in what you know. Why you keep flip flopping? Why are you always wrong once in a, like, you just keep flip flopping because I was wrong. Well, seems like you've been being wrong a lot. But now, so what about all those who took your information back then and took it and ran with it? Are you going to make an apology video for them?
Are you going to take down all those videos?
Right.
Because if it's like that, then all those videos should be removed and all that stuff. Like, why you got those up? If Roz Mariah Bay is so evil, how come you still have her video up on your stuff? Why doesn't he take it down? Oh, because that one has some few thousand views on it. Why would he take that down? That's probably one of the highest viewed videos on his thing. He's going to lie about people, and not just people, master teachers, lie about more vendors, who everybody knows they're more vendors. Anybody talking crazy? Anyone. They're a traitor and a sellout, and you better watch them. You better be very mindful of them if they're talking crazy about RV Bay Publications or anything. If they say anything negative, be wary of people like that. Because that has been the online university for Moors for years. Moors saved their lives going on that website. Right? This is a plug and a promo for the master teachers. So you go check them out before you check these people. This is what you have to do to deal with. This is what you have to deal with. This is what you have to deal with. Like we were laughing yesterday about, damn, people now getting into consciousness. You are lunch, dinner, and everything else to these opportunist traders and sellouts. That's how many there are.
Yeah.
That's how many there are. Talk a good game, look at you the right way, use the right words, reel you in.
Soft hand gestures. They know what they're doing, Grand Sheet. Like I was telling you, what's his name? The Barnes guy? What's his name? Mr. Barnes from The Simpsons with the soft hand gestures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Barnes with the soft hand gestures.
Burns, yeah. Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns with his soft hand gestures and his and soft voice the whole time while he talks. But the whole thing is he's being evil. But he got a bunch of Homer Simpsons following him. Just a bunch of people like Homer Simpsons following. Nobody who can think for themselves. Nobody. That's who they get. That's who they end up getting.
That's why if you want to go, we're telling you, you know what I mean? If you want to go, if you don't want to study and you just want to be a dumbass, then go to these people. You know what I mean? Go to them. I'm not telling you don't go watch his stuff. Go watch his stuff. Go support. Go buy their BS. Go do it. Go do it. Just go do it. Get it over with. Because you're going out with the ship anyways, and we can't use you. So yeah, you might as well go with them people. Because we don't want you over here. We're telling you, if you think they're right, then you go over there. Right.
I used to, and you can go check the videos, I used to push and promote and champion Tarik Bay and RB Bay publications all the time. And I'm talking 2013, 2014, 2015. As I go back, you can check the footage for yourself. But wise women have always told me, when you know better, you got to do better. You know what I mean? If you knew better, you do better. And when you know better, you have to do better. And when I started learning about the Supreme Grand Council, I started having questions about RB Bay publications, Tarik Bay, and many of the people that were out in the front calling themselves leaders. But I did my best to not point the finger, not accuse anybody of anything, but just present this issue on the table because this Supreme Grand Council issue is the reason, and our lack of addressing it is the reason why we have this Moorish sovereign citizens issue today. And it's all connected, and I'm going to get there. Fast forward, nobody would address the issue. Not Taj, not RB Bay Publications, not any of the people that you want to name. You know what I mean?
Hold on, Grand Sheet. It's long.
Yeah.
I'm confused which way he's going with this because I thought the whole time it was about, he was gonna, go about trying to disclaim the civics. He's talking about the Supreme Grand Council. I'm thinking he's gonna disclaim, the astrology aspect, the law aspect, all of that. He's talking about some Supreme Grand Council. Didn't Taj even mention that in one of his books though about the Supreme Grand Council? Anyway, he wrote about that. It's not like he avoided it. He did mention it, but to say like you're not gonna support any of them because of the Supreme Grand Council, the title is misleading. It's like you're about to click on RB Bay Publications and be like, oh, this is wrong. That's what I thought. I never watched the video.
Yeah.
So the title was misleading. I'm thinking he's about to, see here, this is the reason why we're 14th Amendment citizens or something like that. I'm like, okay, back to the Supreme Grand Council again. We're doing this again.
And then I don't know because I probably only got probably like 15 minutes. Like I didn't even skim through. I was just like you. What I heard,
right?
I was like, okay, it's a video. But then I was like, oh yeah, the 77 days is over.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, 77 days is over. Good. Let's put some stuff out again to stress this point that these people are traitors and sellouts. And you're gonna know about it, whether you like it or not, because what you should be doing is studying. You're supposed to be on here watching this or whatever. How come you're not studying? What are you doing? We're talking about Moors who already know what's up. And we're not talking about people who already know that they're Moors and they're not confused. Right? How come we're not putting some time to knowing who you are and what this is about? Because people like this causing confusion. People like this selling out to the point where you are dealing with the repercussions. The BS that you're going through is because of the sellout. The BS that you're going through is because they didn't tell you like it is, just like Tarik Bey told you. They didn't tell you like it is, just like Raz Mariah Bey told you. They didn't tell you like it is. They want to play games with you and lead you all the way over here and lead you all the way over there. And then you have to come right back out just to Grand Central Station again to go where you're going to go next after you went five years off the path into some BS. That if you stuck with the program, you would have been way further ahead than where you are right now. But nah. You want to listen to traders and sellouts. You want to listen to them. So it's on the people. If you don't get right, you're not making it back here in human form. I don't know what form you're going to be in when you get back here, but I would highly suggest that you take this stuff serious. And if you hear anyone talking nuts about RV Bey Publications or Tarik Bey, they are, in fact, without doubt, a sellout and a trader. They're a sellout and they're a trader. And you better be mindful.
Learn. I continue to study. Let me go back to what Noble Drew Ali said. This is what I kept telling myself. I kept saying, let me go back to what Noble Drew Ali said. I kept looking at what he said. Because he's the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the founder of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. This is the person that we're supposed to follow. And I kept coming up and I kept seeing certain things that were directly opposed to what Tarik Bey and RV Bey Publications and others were pushing. These individuals kept pushing, challenging the jurisdiction, de facto government. They're not the real government. They're corrupt, etc. You don't need a driver's license. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to pay a mortgage. You can just do this with the property, etc., etc., etc. You know the deal, right? When I read Noble Drew Ali, he didn't say none of that. He didn't talk about challenging the jurisdiction or a de facto government or you don't have to pay taxes or you don't have to. It was none of that.
Okay, I understand why Miz said what he said.
So, shout out to the brother.
Say that again.
I comprehend why Miz said what he said now.
Yeah.
With the 14th with the comment he wrote.
Yeah.
Because that soon as he said what he said right there, as soon as you say the 14th Amendment, that there's no need that when the prophet mentions there's no need for the 14th or 15th Amendment, that challenges jurisdiction right there in itself.
Exactly. That's the Sanjurshri Moors right there. We're not under the Negro Act.
Yep.
FOH. We're not under the Negro Act.
That was real easy. The prophet did challenge jurisdiction. As soon as he said there's no need for the 14th and 15th Amendment, that's challenge. That there's nothing higher than that than challenging jurisdiction. Actually, that's the whole game. There's nothing higher than challenging the 14th and 15th Amendment. That's the game. That's the whole thing. The prophet said there's no need for it. That's the supreme challenge of jurisdiction right there. We're challenging authority, because jurisdiction means the right word, but challenging authority, or what is it? Territorial jurisdiction. You still there, Grand Sheik?
Yeah, more. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Territorial jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subject matter jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction.
Personam, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Right? Like, and again, that if you listen to what the trader's saying, now you're in the jurisdiction. That's how they're selling you right back into slavery that Drew Ali told you about. Because they're using the authority of the Moor to put you in the stateless box.
Yeah.
Which is what's going to make it stick. Because now you're in slavery as a Moor. You're not slavery as Negro black color now. Now you're in slavery as a Moor. Well, listen to this part. This part's good. Listen to this part.
Brother, shout out to the deal. All right? When I'm reading over Dry Leak, he didn't say none of that. He didn't talk about challenging the jurisdiction or a de facto government, or you don't have to pay taxes, or you don't have to. It was none of that. And so, shout out to the brother. Shout out to the brother of New Moral Order. Yeah, let me get this double check. I gotta get it right. My fault, man. Yeah, New Moral Order. Shout out to the brother for New Moral Order. Because on this journey, I've had to humble myself. I've had to admit to myself, hey, you didn't have it all the way correct. You were.
Yeah.
Because all I'm thinking about is the video that you shared today or yesterday showing New whatever.
The black guy.
But he's giving him a shout out, but forget Taj. So the dude whose video you showed, if you can show that again, show him, and then like this is the guy he's saying, like, yeah, shout out to him. But Taj and Mother Roz, no. And all I keep thinking about is the video that when he said his name, I think about the video you played. That bugs me out. And he's giving him a shout out, but dissing the mother.
Dissing the mother, bro. And dissing freaking Taj Street Bay.
Yo, this is crazy.
You told me this is not a sellout right here?
Yo, that's.
You told me this isn't high treason? And remember, this is not just him, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. All of them. New World Order just came yesterday. New World Order just came yesterday. That's not ancient. He's riding with them before Taj Tarik Bay. Like, this has to be a movie. The plot twist right now. This has to be a movie.
We're mistaken on these issues right here. Got to get back to the basics, Rami. You was moving too fast. Slow it down. Humble yourself. Listen more. And so I was listening to this brother, and he pulled up this website, the Southern Poverty Law Center website, and I've seen the group before. But he went to this website, and it was a link on the website to a whole list of people that were considered Moorish sovereign citizens. Rise of the Moors militia group was on there.
Yo, he's using Southern
Already seen the issue with that, and just
I can't even say it. I'm so shocked. He's using the SPLC as a.
He's using SPLC. Let's see what the Federalists have to say about SPLC. Right? You tell me if these people are sellouts or not. Right?
But Grand Sheik, how many years ago we beat up the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Please.
How many years ago?
Please.
Years ago, though.
Please, but that's the problem with the thing with the digital era, right? That now they're lost in the sauce. They thought they're just gonna put their spoon in and get what they want. They got everything they don't want. They got everything that they don't want. Yeah. This is what they're repping for. Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC. This is what people who study found out about them people. Why do so many folks treat the SPLC with undeserved reverence, and way too many high school kids treat a self-appointed nasty queen bee? Why do they accept the Southern Poverty Law Center as the nation's grand inquisitor, dictating who may speak and who must shut up? Why are its smears and caricatures so often blindly accepted at face value? What qualifies the SPLC to act as judge, jury, and social executioner of any human being who is not their blind supporter? This is who these people work for. This is who they're promoting to you. SPLC as a reference to who the Moors are. These questions have been hanging in the air for decades. As with all vilification campaigns, the SPLC plays a dangerous and cruel game under the guise of defending victims. So let's take a closer look at some of the SPLC history and behavior. It's a big money smear machine. The SPLC's role is as a massively funded propaganda smear machine. The following information on the SPLC provided by Carl Zinnmeister of Philanthropy Roundtable is an eye-opener. Its two largest expenses are propaganda operations, creating its annual list of haters and extremists, and running a big effort that pushes tolerance education through more than 400,000 public school teachers. And the single biggest effort undertaken by the SPLC, fundraising. On the organization's 2015 IRS 990 form, it declared $10 million of direct fundraising expenses, far more than it has ever spent on legal services. The center's work has incited violence. The SPLC's agitation and propaganda has proven to incite violence. Any person or organization of note who doesn't get with the SPLC's political agendas, whether they promote family, integrity, religious freedom, U.S. immigration law, or anything else, is liable to end up smeared as an SPLC certified agent of hate. The SPLC website keeps tabs on designated bad guys with a hate map of the United States and an invitation for readers to report hate. The SPLC hate list includes the Family Research Council in Washington, D.C., And the 2012 shooting at FRC headquarters was inspired through the influence of SPLC agitprop. According to the gunman himself, he would have committed mass murder if he hadn't been stopped. SPLC uses emotion-laden images to spread innuendo. SPLC uses emotion-laden images with nary evidence to spread stigma just by innuendo. Zeitmeister from Philanthropy Roundtable notes, over the years, numerous investigators have pointed out that most of the scary KKK and Nazi and militia groups that the SPLC insists are lurking under our beds are actually ghost entities with no employees, no address, hardly any followers, and little or no footprint. But hate groups and extremist organizations are great copy, especially for fundraising. So the SPLC lists us stormtroopers in our midst as catnip for journalists looking for dramatic stories. SPLC's lack of reasonable criteria for who goes on its list of crazies combines effortlessly with careless reporting and spread stigma just by innuendo. Mere proximity to SPLC's arbitrary hate list is enough to tar even the worthiest group. FBI stopped citing SPLC as a resource. People on its political team see problems too. Its nonprofit status masks highly political fundraising. Its public activities are a ruse for fundraising. Its founder is a direct marketing guru. Civil rights activists say its founder is a con man. Even the 14th Amendment guys know that SPLC can't be used as a source. But here goes these traitors.
Yep.
Here goes these traitors. Here they go.
That's amazing, because it's like every other group says that everybody says that they're horrible. Everybody says they're horrible, and then but Rami is still going to use them, and it's not even, he's hoping, that's like he's like a predator. Like, he don't want the ones who are being, aware.
A certain mindset. Yeah.
Right. He's looking for the airhead, like the one that's out in the clouds, not checking their surroundings, not watching where they at, not watching their step. He's looking. He's a predator. That's a predator. That's a predator.
Yeah. Straight up.
If you hear any of these things, whether you be a Moorish, if you're a Moorish American, you're watching this, if you're not a Moorish American and you're watching this, please understand those individuals is doing their own thing. And I know it's confusing, but and so shout out to the brother, shout out to the Really Lawson website, and I've seen the group before, but he went to this website and it was a link on the website to a whole list of people that were considered Moorish sovereign citizens. Rise of the Moors militia group was on there. We already seen the issue with that, and just so we're clear, I didn't put that tag of them being more sovereign citizens. I didn't put that on them. If you look into the press and all the media, the national media,
Southern Poverty Law Center coined the
they
term.
all
Moorish
they all
sovereign
addressed
citizen.
and labeled the rise of the Moorish militia group as more sovereign citizens, according to the actions. And see, when that brother on the New World Order side, when he went through the list,
That's misleading.
I also saw RV Bay publications on the website. I mean, on the list, rather. A more sovereign citizen. I said, whoa.
Why are you saying whoa? Why are you saying whoa as if the SPLC list of Moorish sovereign citizens is not some propaganda campaign created by them?
They coined the term.
How come there was no Moorish sovereign citizen during Drew Ali's time? How come there was no Moorish sovereign citizen 10 years ago? Because it's a created term to cause confusion. They would never refer to Moors as Moorish sovereign citizen. They just put Moorish on there. It used to be sovereign citizen only. Never did they put Moorish and sovereign citizen together. But like we said, they're going to use your own to sell you out. Because there they go.
That's a predator.
There they go. Trying to keep you in confusion. See that predator again. He is.
That's horrible. But shout out to New Moral Order though. Right? Yeah, that is crazy. Question the mother in Taj, who like
who made him? You can say it. Who made him?
Yo, you see what I'm saying? Like if those videos wasn't made, you know what I mean? Like you're lost. You're still lost. If RV Bay Publications wasn't invented, they're lost. Even for the package sellers. If it wasn't for RV Bay, you wouldn't be able to download anything and sell your packages. And then you diss RV Bay. If it wasn't, and then y'all create packages and get your whole foundation from, well, how are the Moors, and then try to finagle it, but we can sell that. And it's like, that's not what this is, but they're doing it. And everybody, it's the same thing. And it's the same thing they did to the prophet. They did same thing, Grand Sheik. When everybody wants to do their own thing, just can't stay the course. Everybody wants to ban the feds. Everybody wants to now we're nation of gods and earth, NOI, Hebrew Israelite. Nobody wants to stay the course. We got all these different groups now. Nobody wanted to just stay, but they all took what they wanted from the prophet and started their own thing. Because that's what they trying to do. That's because, like we've been saying from the beginning, this is all for views. This isn't. How is he helping yet? What did he help with? How is he do? He's adding to the problem by doing this video. He hasn't said a solution yet. He's causing so much confusion just by the fact that he said, "I will." Now look, he killed himself too. Now he was pushing Taj like I'm saying what he's saying since 2013, 2014, 2015. This Rami right here, this is new. This is the new Rami. He hasn't done this for more than 3 to 4 years yet. So he's still new at this part of the selling out. This is still new. He was doing pushing RV Bay and Taj longer than he was selling out. But then you got to add that in there. Like that's because why? Because that's confusion in itself. How do we know that? Well, at least get 6 years into selling out before I know you got the Taj and RV Bay out of you.
Yeah.
You can't just go a couple of months. Okay, I got it now. And it's because New More Order made a video, and now you got it. Now you got it. You was waiting on New More Order. That guy, you was waiting on him. That's more confusion. No other teachers, not Asir, Abdullah, Hakeem Bey. He could have said anybody else. He said New More Order, Grand Sheet.
Yo, anybody else.
He could have said anybody.
Order. He said New More Order.
He said New More Order. And now he got it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's official now. If you're still confused, if you're still confused, we're really sorry. We're really sorry for you. Like, sincerely, we're sorry for what you're gonna have to go through in learning about your nationality and birthrights. And it's absolutely criminal what they did to you. It's absolutely criminal what they did to you. But hey, that's what you get. You want to follow the prophet? Yeah, do your thing. Deal with it.
Oh, now see, this is when I had to check myself. I couldn't ignore what I saw.
That's right.
In this. Whoa. If you hear any of these things, whether you be a Moorish, if you're a Moorish American, you're watching this. If you're not a Moorish American and you're watching this, please understand, is on this list of people that are considered Moorish sovereign citizens. RB Bay Publications, Taj Bay, they both been pushing this, not paying taxes, no need for driver's license, challenging jurisdiction, claiming property. All of these activities are considered by the government is on this list of people that are considered charged with seditious conspiracy. Seditious conspiracy. But when I seen them on the list, it made me have to check myself. You know what I mean? Because if you aren't aware, sovereign citizen, that is a serious issue right now in the United States of America.
Wow.
You may not be aware, but on January 6th, there was a whole bunch of people that stormed the government buildings. All of those people are now being tracked down by the FBI and different authorities and being charged and get that paper. Being charged with seditious conspiracy. Seditious conspiracy. Get you maybe 20 years in prison. I don't know if you're aware about laws and crimes, but just do some studying on conspiracy charges. So when I saw that, then I saw, oh wow, RB Bay Publications is on this list of people that are considered Moorish sovereign citizens.
It's on the Southern Harvard Law Center list.
Been pushing this, not paying taxes, no need for driver's license, challenging the jurisdiction.
He said the FBI is charging the people who stormed the building charges. And the FBI are charging them with conspiracy. And then he's tying that into, SPLC has them on the Moors on the list as Moorish sovereign citizens. That doesn't even tie together. That doesn't even tie together. That's two different things. That's not conspiracy. In the way that they're saying it, they're calling them Moorish sovereign citizens. Where's the conspiracy part that you're trying to tie that into? The FBI is calling the people who stormed the building conspiracy. Well, that's all going to get thrown out because they got a petition, because you got to go downtown and get a permit to march and picket.
Yeah.
So all of that, they just stormed it. No, you can literally Google who got the permit for them to go down there and march and picket. That wasn't a shock, surprise thing.
They were down there, yeah.
No, they knew they got the permit in a whatever amount of time that they supposed to get the permit, 48 hours, 36, whatever amount of time, they got that in the proper time. They knew that they was coming. And to try to tie that in with more, that's fraudulent. That's fraudulent. Truth and falsehood strangely, a lot of falsehood strangely mixed. That's all he just did. There was no truth in there. None. And they're gonna say in the United States of America. You heard him?
After that, yeah. But I just wanted to throw something back. Let's just hear what Tarik had to say about his licenses thing. So to throw this one back.
Actually, tax should be issued. Everything that they deal with them until we get things in order, which we're working towards getting things in order, because actually the cars, the houses, the property should all be in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, unincorporated, under government, under treaty, and under trust. And actually, tags should be issued by the government, i.e. by the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Logically, with the information that we've been dispensing, we're encouraging the honorable Moors to do that. Now, when they're using the DMV tags, we keep in mind that the registration that's there, that the private foreign for-profit religious organization, which the DMV belongs to the Jesuits of Rome, it does. They take the registration and they put their car in their trust. And then they put it on the stock market and they draw off it on a sister Q trust, which they do with everything concerning the people. So first people need to understand what's being done to them in the name of law. It's not law, it's human trafficking. Unfortunately, because they're waging war on the people, I don't suggest people do things without being prepared for battle, if you understand. However, they must first know what's happening concerning the people. So first people need to understand what's being done to them in the name of law. It's not law, it's human trafficking. Unfortunately, because they're waging war on the people, I don't suggest people do things without being prepared for battle. They do with everything concerning the people. So first people need to understand what's being done to them in the name of law. It's not law, it's human trafficking. Unfortunately, because they're waging war on the people, I don't suggest people do things without being prepared for battle, if you understand. However, they must first know what's happening. So everything that they deal with concerning the foreign Europeans occupying unfortunately, because they're waging war on the people, I don't suggest people do things without being prepared for battle, if you understand. However, they must first know what's happening. So everything that they deal with concerning the foreign Europeans, unfortunately, because they're waging war on the people, I don't suggest people do things without being prepared for battle, if you understand. However, they must first know what's happening. So everything that they deal with concerning the foreign Europeans occupying the land under color of operations and human trafficking, they must sign all rights reserved. And that's what I suggest they do until collectively they and we together and in unity with other Moorish groups, including brothers and sisters from the Nation of Islam, all other parts of the Moorish movement come back together again and act as a proper body politic and exercise the rights that are already ours, is to recognize that the civilized world had already acknowledged, but we ourselves, turning the foreign Europeans occupying the land under color of operations and human trafficking, they must sign all rights reserved. And that's what I suggest they do until, and under color of operations and human trafficking, they must sign all rights reserved. And that's what I suggest they do until collectively they and we together and in unity with other Moorish groups, including brothers and sisters from the Nation of Islam, all other parts of the Moorish movement come back together again and act as a proper body politic and exercise the rights that are already ours, is to recognize that the civilized world had already acknowledged, but we ourselves have not enforced. But the disadvantage is, from a process perspective, is that no man is an island. And usually, when the Moors are exercising rights that already belong to them divinely and by law, that the racketeering Europeans operating in the Western Hemisphere under their secret Treaty of Verona and their pledge to the Pope and the enforcers have not enforced. But the disadvantage is, from a process perspective, is that no man is an island. And usually, when the Moors are exercising rights that already belong to them divinely and by law, that the racketeering Europeans operating in the Western Hemisphere under their secret Treaty of Verona and their pledge to the Pope and the enforcement of the Inquisition operations will, under a color of law, under a color of office, under a color of authority, attack them. From a process perspective, is that no man is an island. And usually, when the Moors are exercising rights that already belong to them divinely and by law, that the racketeering Europeans operating in the Western Hemisphere under their secret Treaty of Verona and their pledge to the Pope and the enforcement of the Inquisition operations will, under a color of law, under a color of office, under a color of authority, attack them. And, so that is the standard operations. Now, because most of the congressmen are deputy knights for the Popes of Rome and are, in fact, members of the Barristers Association, which you can check in the congressional records, are operative members of the Communist Union, which is their parent body. They're operating under the definitive mission to overthrow the United States Republic, and as a countermove against Noble Drali, so that the people will understand why the opposition is there, and that these people are indeed not lawful. That, of course, you'll find that most of the clerks impersonating judges are contemptuous against the Constitution and are contemptuous against anyone who enforces constitutional law, even though the highest court in the land, Supreme Court of the United States, has always sided with the Moors with their rights to their own tax, their rights to their own property, their rights to their liberties, etc. And so what you have is the municipal, private, government Drali, so that the people will understand why the opposition is there, and that these people are indeed not lawful. That, of course, you'll find that most of the clerks impersonating judges are contemptuous against the Constitution.
Now, you can't tell me that we've been on here for an hour, right? You heard what we had to say? You heard what that guy had to say? And then you just heard what Tarik had to say. 3 minutes into this, we could play this back to back to back for 3 hours. And get more than any of these people out here telling you about they got some course for you to take or whatever, 500. The amount of stuff was, if we start this thing over again, the amount of slaps that you got that you didn't even see that you got slapped, Slapped with truth. We're not talking about, you know, fingerprints on your face or whatever. Slapped with truth. Especially if you're a new Moor. I bet you they never played this Taj for you. Bet you they never played this Taj for you. It's a lot more. Oh,
Islam, Grand Sheik.
Islam.
I was going crazy because you said 3 minutes in, and it's already going, you know, and then you can hear listening to these guys, but then it also reminded me. I said he only went 3 minutes in and gave you enough information to study for the next 3 to 7 years.
Yo, crazy.
3 minutes in. If you knew, you never heard of no Treaty of Verona, the barristers of Rome, you got to go find out all of that. What is he talking about? All of that.
Yeah, everything that made you say, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
Everything that made you say that is supposed to make you go research and check. And if you're not stimulated to go research after you hear something that you don't know, then maybe, you know, this just isn't for you. You need to go over there, go be nigger. You know. Because that's your only option. If you're not Negro, black, colored, then you have a nationality. If you don't have a nationality, then obviously you're nigger. Because, you know, Negro, black, colored, all this stuff is the nigger or whatever. Right? You know. And we know it's not you. We know it's not you doing wrong. That's why we're not saying you're a dirty Moor. We're talking about the status. The status of nigger is on you if you don't want to have a nationality. And keep in mind, Drew Ali said it's only going to be a handful saved, so you better make sure you're dangling off a cuticle or something like that to make sure you're in the hand. We'll go back to the master teacher that these guys were dissing. Actually, you know,
3 minutes, Grand Sheik.
Pull that back up again from the start. Hope you have your pen this time. I know you didn't have your pen the first time playing around. And we're not talking about people who are busy or whatever, can't get a pen right now. We're talking about the sit back, get the feet up. These boys don't know what they're talking about.
But Grand Sheik, see, this is what I'm saying. To add on what you're saying about, and then the other day about studying too. I remember literally, you know how you used to do back in the day, how we used to do a song? We used to play it in the tape player, get the notebook, try to write down the song, and so you can memorize the song. I used to stop and play and try to write Taj's whole things. Like, that's how I used to study. Like, I'm gonna write word for word what he was saying. And each time I didn't know a word I didn't know, I'm gonna go look it up in all 6 dictionaries. Be there all night. All night. Wouldn't even scratch the surface. I'll be in the same video for months. I remember doing that. Like that.
I remember putting in whoever, a Lim or somebody, and watch this thing over, rewind the tape. Watch this, rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. Next time I looked up, it was like noon or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was the day before.
Right.
Like, it just registered like, oh, I haven't gone to the washroom, I haven't eaten nothing. No,
and not tired though. Why you not tired? Excited about learning the next thing. Just too excited about learning whatever's next. I can't go to sleep right now.
Yo, just up.
I remember dreaming reading. Dreaming I was reading. I remember that. Dreaming, reading.
Yep. And
dreaming reading. That was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, dreams about libraries. You're just looking at like, what the hell? Where am I right now? Like, where is this? Crazy. Let's go back to the master teacher. Master teacher who they're hating on.
Anything that everything that they deal with them until we get things in order, which we're working towards getting things in order, because actually the cars, the houses, the property should all be in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, unincorporated, under government, under treaty, and under trust. And actually tags should be issued by the government, i.e. by the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Logically, with the information that we've been dispensing, we're encouraging the honorable Moors to do that. Now, when they're using the DMV tags, we keep in mind that the registration that's there, that the private foreign for-profit religious organization, which the DMV belongs to the Jesuits of Rome, it does. They take the registration and they put their car in their trust, and then they put it on the stock market, and they draw off it on a sister trust, which they do with everything concerning the people. So first, people need to understand what's being done to them in the name of law. It's not law; it's human trafficking. Unfortunately, because they're waging war on the people, I don't suggest people do things without being prepared for battle, if you understand. However, they must first know what's happening. So everything that they deal with concerning the foreign Europeans occupying the land under color of operations and human trafficking, they must sign all rights reserved. And that's what I suggest they do until collectively they and we together and in unity with other Moorish groups, including brothers and sisters from the Nation of Islam, all other parts of the Moorish movement come back together again and act as a proper body politic and exercise the rights that are already ours, is to recognize that the civilized world had already acknowledged, but we ourselves have not enforced. But the disadvantage is, from a process perspective, is that no man is an island. And usually, when the Moors are exercising rights that already belong to them divinely and by law, that the racketeering Europeans operating in the Western Hemisphere under their secret Treaty of Verona and their pledge to the Pope and the enforcement of the Inquisition operations will, under a color of law, under a color of office, under a color of authority, attack them. And, so that is the standard operations. Now, because most of the congressmen are deputy knights for the Popes of Rome and are, in fact, members of the Barristers Association, which you can check in the congressional records, are operative members of the Communist Union, which is their parent body. They're operating under the definitive mission to overthrow the United States Republic, and as a counter-move against Noble Draw League, so that the people will understand why the opposition is there, and that these people are indeed not lawful. That, and of course, you'll find that most of the clerks impersonating judges are contemptuous against the Constitution and are contemptuous against anyone who enforces constitutional law, even though the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court of the United States, has always sided with the Moors with their rights to their own tags, their rights to their own property, and their rights to their liberties, etc. And so what you have is the municipal, private governors, etc., are exercising their private clan law and other private religious policies of Inquisition operations against the Constitution. And so that's what they must recognize is going on. So don't get it confused from a perspective thinking that they're wrong for desiring to exercise rights that already belong to them, or having their Moorish tags. They have every right to that. Thinking that they're wrong for And so that's what they must recognize is going on. So don't get it confused from a perspective thinking that they're wrong for desiring to exercise rights that already belong to them or having their Moorish tags. They have every right to that. It's just that we should be well organized against the Constitution. And so that's what they must recognize is going on. So don't get it confused from a perspective thinking that they're wrong for desiring to exercise rights that already belong to them or having their Moorish tags. They have every right to that. It's just that we should be well organized in government while exercising their rights. It's not a discouragement. It's an encouragement to be in order. And this is another reason why one of the standard conversations that are going on is we are teaching our people those things necessary to make them better citizens. And keep in mind, from a law perspective, it is the duty of, don't get it confused from a perspective thinking that they're wrong for desiring to exercise rights that already belong to them or having their Moorish tags. They have every right to that. It's just that we should be well organized in government while exercising their rights. It's not a discouragement. It's an encouragement to be in order. And this is another reason why one of the standard conversations that are going on is we are teaching our people those things necessary to make them better citizens.
No, he didn't.
And keep in mind, from a law perspective, it is the duty.
Because that wasn't what Clifton was saying in the beginning.
Yeah,
he wasn't saying. He didn't say, Todd said, if you're going to get, exercise your rights, that we as Moors need to have our Moorish government in order first. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said, oh, Todd teaches, oh, we ain't gotta pay taxes, we ain't gotta have no license. That's then when you play the video, that's not what happened.
which will let you know he's a liar. And if he's a liar, then he's qualified. And anybody who's with them, and anybody who's backing them, and anybody who's in their thing, liking their stuff and whatever like that. Right?
But he didn't say, Moors shouldn't exercise their right. He said Moors have that right to exercise their right.
Yep. It's all right. What's he gonna say? Because he's Grand Sheikh Tarik Bey, he's gonna say, "No, you don't have the right. The temple has to sell it to you, or you gotta buy it from me for 500." No, you have that right. The people have the right.
Yep.
And that right should not be infringed. Why would they infringe the right? And then why are these people talking negative about the ones teaching you about the rights, not negative about the ones infringing your rights?
Exactly. Because I was gonna, when brother Grand Sheik was saying how they're infringing on people's rights using color of law, and I'm like, why they don't never mention how these colonists are acting in color of law? They like not mention it one time. Like everything they're doing is based off of color.
Mm-hmm.
Like they never come at them. Never. They mention stuff like, oh, here in the United States of America. And it's like, brother, how are you accepting with some foreign? That's accepting foreign occupation.
Yeah. Like accepting it. I want you to accept it too. Because remember, they're the true Moorish Americans.
Yep. I remember you showing a video, Grand Sheik, of a mother talking about wherever, I forgot where she was from, but she was saying, yeah, they did that too. We got sellouts here too. Like they know that we're not that this is this, but they all took the Christian way and started selling out. It's not only here. The whole planet is dealing with it, with different nations and their own people selling them out so they can't get, you know, their freedom, their right to exercise whatever they want as indigenous people. They're just denying all of that right now.
Yeah.
And Steve Coakley talked about this stuff too back in the 90s, man. That's the stuff that be bugging me out. I'm like, because I know a lot of those people are still alive that was at the Steve Coakley lectures. That's what really frustrates me. That but that goes back to the, well, look at Clifton Harrison. He's selling out right in front of you. So don't be surprised that these people are still alive and didn't keep pushing the Steve Coakley aspect and didn't spread that information. Don't be surprised.
Yep.
These people are trying to get the walk-in mausoleums when they leave.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, these people are on video now selling out. When this dude back in the day, we only got that picture of him marking his fez. What was his name? The dude with the mausoleum thing, that was Kirkman. Kirkman Bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only got that one picture of him marking his fez. You know what I'm saying? We don't know the actions he was doing. We got video blatantly seeing these people selling out, you know, with Clifton Harrison, the Taharka, ETC, the Polites, all of that. We got video of these people doing it now, but could you imagine what they was doing back in the day in front of the prophet, and we can see that on video?
Yo,
that would be amazing.
Crazy.
Like somebody had, you know, on their camcorder, on their phone, pulled out their phone when they was throwing the prophet stuff out of the temple. Somebody pulled their phone out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And threw it on it. Oh, somebody getting evicted or something like that.
Yeah.
And put it all over the internet. Could you imagine that? And we can pull that up and see that. We can see that stuff now and pull it right up.
Yeah. Yep, just put it in the thing. Man gets kicked out of his house, furniture on the lawn.
Yep.
You'd bet you there's a video.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And I would love to have seen all of this stuff. We can just read about it.
Yeah.
I could just imagine. Like, oh wow, you really, because that remind me of a you know, like remember when Grand Sheik Taj spoke and then shut it down with everything nationality. We know how Taj is going to speak, and then Dr. Omar came up there next and did the whole black thing. Like that's like blatant, like
Yeah,
yo, that like that's what I mean, like blatant, like didn't even change his tone, didn't even change nothing. Went right up there and just sold out right after. Not a half hour break, nothing. It just glitched, and you can just see it. He's next. He's next, and it was just put you right back in slavery.
Right back.
We can see, so that's what I'm saying. It wasn't, I know, like when they say like they changed the sign, I know they just changed the sign. They just took the sign down and put another one up. Like we see it on video. They do it right now in our face. We see it. So it's not, we don't see it. We saw it. You saw it. We were in it, Grand Sheik. We went to the temple in so-called Pittsburgh. They did not let us in. We were in it. We are part of the history. We were there. We were in it.
Yep.
They did not let us in.
Somebody else who went to a temple and got that weird feeling, like, why is this feeling like not comfortable? Why do I feel like I'm being preyed on right now?
Yep.
Why do I think I'm being preyed on? Be careful. It's your own.
We of the people, quote unquote, the people, the citizens, to keep government officials in check, not reverse. You know, so my suggestion to people, quote unquote, the people, the encouragement, it's an encouragement to be in order. And this is another reason why one of the standard conversations that are going on is we are teaching our people those things necessary to make them better citizens. And keep in mind, from a law perspective, it is the duty of the people, quote unquote, the people, the citizens, to keep government officials in check, not reverse. So my suggestion is get, like the prophet said, Prophet Noble says, he says, I'm a universal prophet, and my philosophies will be universal. And in reference to those things that we've been suffering under the Europeans, he reminded the Moors, he said, the Europeans are living off your virtues. That's a how do you say, a modest way of telling you that they're vampires. So for you to expect anything other than resistance would be naive. And so also in accord with the charters for the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, there's unity. And so it's important for that unity, Salvation Allah, which is USA on the nationality card, to really take place. And so as Grand Chief Nature has consistently said, one of the things that we've been working hard to do is to restore the credibility to the Moorish Science Temple of America as a countermeasure to those who have infiltrated the movement to misrepresent it to the people. And but understand that the Moorish Science Temple of America is a government. And in the first act, the Grand Chief, the chairman, etc., they're all put in power to make law. And logically, being a nation, when you're dealing with law, which is jurisprudence, citizenship logically comes under that, and nationality and citizenship goes together. And so I would suggest that the brother assure himself and make sure that he's well grounded in all the duties and the responsibilities of citizens, being we're the citizens of the land, and recognize that we have nationality cards. Recognize also that the occupying Europeans don't have a nationality card. They're just simply paradings, or what you call peregrines. They're wandering strangers, waging war on nations, but they're doing it in our name. This is another reason why we want to make sure that don't call them Americans, the Europeans, call them who they are, responsibilities of citizens. Being we're the citizens of the land, and recognize that we have nationality cards. Recognize also that the occupying Europeans don't have a nationality card. They're just simply paradings, or what you call peregrines. They're wandering strangers, waging war on nations, but they're doing it in our name. This is another reason why we want to make sure that don't call them Americans, the Europeans, call them who they are. And for the Europeans who are honoring the Constitution in accordance with the founding fathers who agreed to participate in a local government with the Moors, there's very few of them left. But for the few that are helping, we give them props. However, they have an obligation to help restore the republic. I would also suggest that he remember that the legitimate government is a republic, and any persons that he hear using the word democracy, that's a password for the deputy knights of the popes who are going for the overthrow of the republic, which is the source of our problems, including the fake driver's license being imposed on natural people, as opposed to where they belong on foreign corporate people doing business in a corporate capacity. Only, that's the only place license applies. So I would say, stay on the case, get on the mission, get with the brothers and sisters that are doing good and help them do more good. And in due time, we'll resolve that problem. Being imposed on natural people, as opposed to where they belong on foreign corporate people doing business in a corporate capacity. Only, that's the only place license applies. So I would say, stay on the case, get on the mission, get with the brothers and sisters that are doing good and help them do more good. And in due time, we'll resolve that problem. And we're working on it now, too. We'll be publishing other stuff. And also want to remind the audience that Grand Chief Nika and Grand Chief Natriel Bay is putting the roundtable page on their website, and we'll be dispensing some other issues or documents that we've been sending to the governors, etc., to the different corporate states in relationship to that. And I think it would be very helpful. So I would say, stay on the case, get on the mission, get with the brothers and sisters that are doing good and help them do more good.
That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Get with brothers and sisters doing good and help them do more good. Don't get with traitors and help them do more BS. Don't do that. Understand all the wars. Brother Yusuf,
Islam.
you got any anything from that last bit that we watched right there?
I had missed I was with brother talking to the more, but I had missed the last little ending part.
Well, it's
Forgive
all
me,
good.
Green Cheek.
It's all good. Two apples, yo.
Yo, you know it.
No doghouse. No doghouse.
But because it's we already know how the master teacher is. It's just I'm still stuck on not this man right here, not the master teacher Taj. He said he got it when New Moral Order came. Like that's what's bugging me out. Like I'm like, yo, that's Taj and nature right there. Are you serious? That's how you know that like this.
He went there.
You can't even be mad. You can't even be mad. I'm like, this isn't even real anymore.
Yeah.
I'm at this point now. I'm like, this isn't real.
It wasn't real, but it's really not real now.
Yeah, this isn't. I'm like, are you serious? This is the video right here. Yeah. This is the video. None of the master teachers are ever talk the way he's talking right now. None of them. Hakeem, Dr. Jose Pineda Bay, Mother Roz, Mother Anna Need, Asir, none of them. And even since he's been in the information, he's still new compared to them.
Yeah.
And he's flipped. That's what I keep saying. He keeps flip-flopping. None of those people I mentioned have flip-flopped. It's still the same thing. We're under foreign occupation. Not in the United States of America. That's like, brother.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What government? What do you mean the government? The government of something.
What do you mean SPLC has more? That's slander. That's what you should be saying.
What do you mean new moral order? What do you mean? What do you really mean?
No feds, nothing. Just up there. That's the first time I even seen him or heard him even talk. That's the first time. And that's the guy. And then I'm like, Rami, why is Rami giving him a shout out?
Yeah. It's the proof. The proof is right there for you.
And they speak about that SPLC. They was even on the floor. You showed the video with the mother that went up there, that was up there talking to the who was that? The something. They was on the so-called house floor, and they was talking about black extremists or whatever, and she called that whole thing out. Like that whole thing has to be questioned because of the source of where it's coming from, which is the SPLC.
Yeah.
They already in that, but when Rami says the SPLC is legit, it's legit. But when they talked about it on the floor, and now it's being questioned, well, are those people even legit for us to even be calling people something that they're not? Because this people said that they are, then that's not even qualified. She had them stuck with just that's what killed them. They couldn't even move on until they like, well, where did the FBI get that from? SPLC? That's not. You can't use that.
Yeah.
You can't. You guys gotta do your own investigation and label somebody. Like you can't use a media outlet and say that's like saying, well, where did you get it from? Well, Facebook. What?
Yeah, Facebook said that the aliens are touched down.
What? And that's what happened. And she had him stuck on the floor with that. And I was like, exactly. You get that out of here now. Like, the FBI got him on the list. But when she said, well, where did the FBI get it from? And SPLC, well, that was the end of that. You ain't never hear from it ever again, neither. Never. That was the end of that show. They never went on TV with it ever again. Ever again. But that's who he's using as they had that was on TV on the floor. That was already shut down.
I couldn't believe they had it out like that. I can't remember what it was too. If it was Senate floor, if it was.
Yeah.
But when I seen them drop that, I was like, okay, they definitely have issues. They're definitely funded, and that's how they get their push.
Yep.
Yeah, Karen Bass was the representative or whatever. Yeah, Karen Bass. It's right there in the chat. That's why you have to. So you have to check yourself. Study, then check yourself. Study, check yourself. Study, check yourself. Right? So you don't get played. Because it's a game out here. And if people are using reference points, SPLC, about sovereign citizens, and then you're listening to them, thinking that that's a real thing when that's a psyop, you're done for. You're done for. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all the Moors. Islam, Brother Yusuf. Give thanks again.
Islam, Grand Sheik.
You already know.
Yep. Islam. Honors to the Prophet.
Honors. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And honors to all Moors worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. Islam.